Today is June 3rd, 2025, and you're listening to Space News First Up.
Discover your next mission in the space industry with the Space News Job Exchange. Visit spacenews.com/jobs to find top aerospace roles and connect with leading employers.
Here are today's top headlines in space. BAE Systems won a $1.2 billion contract to build 10 missile tracking satellites. One of the biggest challenges facing Golden Dome is how to handle a system of systems. Echostar has ordered another geostationary satellite for its Dish Network TV broadcast business, even as the company flirts with bankruptcy. And Nanoavionics won a contract to build a CubeSat for a South Korean mission to study Venus.
First Up is produced by Space News, the industry standard for professional space journalism. Visit spacenews.com for breaking news, policy updates, and original analysis.
We begin today with news that BAE Systems won a $1.2 billion contract to build 10 missile tracking satellites. The contract was awarded to BAE Systems Space and Mission Systems on May 29th through a firm fixed-price Other Transaction Authority agreement, the Space Force's Space Systems Command said Monday. The program is known as Resilient Missile Warning Tracking Epoch 2, which marks the second phase of the Space Force's program to develop a missile tracking network in medium Earth orbit. The satellites are designed to detect and track a range of threats, from large, bright intercontinental ballistic missile launches to dim, maneuvering hypersonic missiles. The first satellites are slated for delivery in 2029 and will be incorporated into the Golden Dome Missile Defense Initiative. One of the biggest challenges facing Golden Dome is how to handle a system of systems. The Golden Dome command and control system must integrate data from space-based sensors, ground-based radars, and other sources to provide a unified operational picture and enable real-time decision-making, said an executive with Amentum, which has developed ground control systems for the Missile Defense Agency. Amentum, which merged with missile defense contractor Jacobs in September, recently rolled out what it calls a common ground space enterprise architecture that it's pitching for Golden Dome. Echostar has ordered another geostationary satellite for its Dish Network TV broadcast business, even as the company flirts with bankruptcy. Maxar Space Systems said Monday it won a contract to build the ES-26 geostationary satellite for Echostar, which will provide broadcast services across the United States and Puerto Rico, continuing services provided by a mix of about 10 owned and leased payloads. As demand for satellite TV declines, Echostar has been pushing into connectivity services, including a terrestrial 5G network. The FCC, though, is investigating Echostar's build-out of those systems, and the company said Friday it will not make a $326 million interest payment on debt backed by Spectrum licenses due to that uncertainty. That move could trigger a bankruptcy filing that would pause FCC efforts to modify or revoke its licenses. Nanoavionics won a contract to build a CubeSat for a South Korean mission to study Venus. Nanoavionics will build an 8U CubeSat for chasing the long-term variability of our nearest neighbor planet Venus, or CLOVE, a mission by South Korea's Institute for Basic Science, IBS. CLOVE would carry ultraviolet and near-infrared sensors from IBS to monitor Venus's atmosphere, performing those observations from low Earth orbit. IBS aims to deploy a new CLOVE satellite every 3 years over a 15-year period, covering at least one full 11-year solar cycle, to collect data that could shed more light on how Earth's sister planet evolved into a hostile world.
Share your company's news with the entire space industry through Stellar Dispatch, the press release service from Space News. Learn more and submit yours at spacenews.com/stellardispatch.
In other news, Rocket Lab launched a black sky imaging satellite Monday. An Electron rocket lifted off from Launch Complex 1 in New Zealand at 7:57 p.m. Eastern, deploying the Black Sky Gen 3 satellite into low Earth orbit nearly an hour later. This is Black Sky's second Gen 3 satellite, which features improved resolution and other capabilities. Black Sky bought 5 Electron launches from Rocket Lab in 2023, and this was the 10th Electron launch overall to carry Black Sky satellites. Spaceflight Now reports that SpaceX launched more Starlink satellites overnight. A Falcon 9 lifted off from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station at 12:43 a.m. Eastern Tuesday. putting 23 Starlink satellites, 13 with direct-to-cell payloads, into orbit. The launch was scheduled for Sunday night but postponed a day for undisclosed reasons. European spaceflight reports that the French space agency KESS is seeking proposals for an in-space refueling demonstration. KESS issued a call for proposals last week for cryostars, or cryogenic storage and transfer for advanced rocket systems. The program first seeks to study use cases for refueling using cryogenic propellants, such as liquid hydrogen, which would be followed by ground tests and potentially a demonstration mission. Space.com reports one less thing to worry about. A collision between the Milky Way and the neighboring Andromeda galaxy is no longer a certainty. Astronomers had believed the two galaxies would collide in about 5 billion years, creating a merged galaxy dubbed Milkomeda, while flinging many stars into intergalactic space. New models, though, show that the odds of such a collision are now no higher than 50-50, with only about a 2% chance of a head-on collision between the galaxies.